Um, no liturgical celebration of a saint today, but we are still in the midst of Vocations Awareness Week in our country. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops designates this first week in November as the National Vocations Awareness Week. So that I might give a brief, my vocation story very quickly. Maybe some of you have already heard it. If you have, I understand you can tune in tomorrow for something else. But I just thought during National Vocations Awareness Week, it might be a good time to share a brief version of my vocation story. I was born and raised in Shelby, Ohio. I am the youngest of 7 children. Uh, in Shelby, I always think we grew up as a kind of regular Catholic family. You know, we always went to church on every weekend, and sometimes maybe much to my chagrin when we were out of town. My parents always found a Catholic church for us to go to on the weekend also. And two, usually in devotions we have Stations of the Cross during Lent, obviously, and May crowning and all those other different devotional aspects of church life we are always part of. Um, the norm for Catholic children at that time was the Catholic school was grades 1 through 8 at St. Mary's, and then everybody went to the public high school, Shelby Senior High School, and we did have high school CCD though. So for 4 years, on Monday evenings, I would go for CCD classes even when I was in high school. We had pretty good youth group. I was involved with that. Was pretty involved. Was a lecturer. I was a server. All those kind of things. Probably had thought about being a priest when I was younger. As a young boy, I would have mass in the basement at my parents' house, those kind of things. But once I hit about junior high, high school, it wasn't really something I was considering. Figured I'd go to college, get married, have a family, have a job, all that kind of normal stuff. But did go to did end up graduating from high school, going to college. I did graduated with a degree in agriculture from the Ohio State University, and so my area of specialization, I guess you would call it, was turf grass management. So I worked on golf courses and athletic fields, and did a little bit of golf course and athletic field construction, some irrigation work. Um, After graduation, didn't really worked for a while at a couple different golf courses down in the Columbus area, also too with an irrigation company in Columbus. All this for a few years, probably 3, 4 years, and then did end up getting a job as the assistant superintendent at Westbrook Country Club in Mansfield, Ohio. So back near my home. Um, Shelby's about 10 miles from Mansfield. So I was living there. That was where I joined St. Peter's Parish in Mansfield. I, got envelopes and everything. I felt like a real adult, and was going. Sometimes with the schedule, it was difficult to go to mass, but I tried to make it to mass every weekend, and usually did at that time. And then after that, it just for whatever reason, and this kind of was a a reoccurring theme that um, every 3 or 4 years when I was doing something, it seemed like it wasn't providing me what I needed or what I just did. I felt like I needed to do something else. Felt like I needed to do something else. So I applied for grad school at Ohio State to go back and work on a master's degree in turf, and was doing that, and still wasn't something. Did not seem like that was what I should be doing. So I ended up looking into the seminaries at that point. So um, spoke with the pastor at the parish down in Columbus, and met with an associate pastor there a few times. Applied because every seminarian applies with or is affiliated with a diocese or a religious order, but for diocesan priests, most of the parish priests in our diocese, with a few exceptions, are all diocesan priests, so we're affiliated with the Diocese of Toledo. So I was living in Columbus, so I contacted their vocations office and the vocations office here in the Diocese of Toledo, kind of started the process with both of them until it kind of became clear that to me it made more sense with all of my family roots and everything like that to come to affiliate with the Diocese of Toledo. So did that. Was assigned by Bishop Huffman to study at Mount St. Mary's Seminary of the West down in Cincinnati. Um, Interesting part about that is, as I told this story last night during adoration, so if you watch that, I apologize for the repeat. But when I first thought about the idea of going to the seminary, I called a bunch of people to see what they thought about it and asked some of my friends, hoping someone would try to talk me out of it. You know, it was kind of a scary proposition, I guess, at that time, but none of them did. But I do remember calling Father Tony Borgia because I had known him from some youth work that I had done. And when I said that I was thinking about looking into the seminary, he said, "That's great. You need to go to Mount St. Mary's in Cincinnati. I'll take you down there if you want to go." And so as I contacted Monsignor Kubaki, who was the vocations director at that time, and we talked about seminaries. I mentioned Mount St. Mary's, and Monsignor Charles Singler was on the faculty there. So I went down there for a visit, ended up studying there, went in with the idea that that was something that I wanted to make sure that I explored, and if God wasn't calling me to be a priest, then that would, I would know it, and I could leave with a clear conscience. But obviously, that's not what happened, and so my uh, 6 years at the seminary, I did a year of what we call pre-theology work. We started then in 2 years of theology, a year of internship, and then 2 more years of theology before I was ordained by um, Archbishop Blair. And so on June 3rd of 2006. So that's kind of my quick little vocation story. It took, as I kind of tell people a lot of times, God nudged me a lot of times before I finally kind of went in the direction he was nudging me, I think. But as someone asked me one time, don't you wish you had thought, you had come to this conclusion a long time ago? I just said I don't think I was ready. I think God called me when I was ready and could answer that call. So this National Vocations Awareness Week is a good time to pray for, especially all of our seminarians. We had Eric Kaufman was here this summer, last summer. We had Chris Turner. Also, Travis Colley was staying here as he was helping out at the cathedral this summer. So we have some connections with some of the seminarians, but all of our seminarians at the Diocese of Toledo, and two, also praying for all those young men who are considering the priesthood, that they will receive the support that they need to follow whatever God's call may be for in their life. So that's today's update. Hope everyone has a very great day. Enjoys the warm weather that we're experiencing, and continue to look out for each other and pray for one another. And I pray that God will bless you abundantly this day. Have a great day.